already moisturized my face. Right now I'm just going to prime it, and right now what I've been using is the Ordinary Height Adherent Silicone. Next thing I do is I get Sephora's color corrector in the color Melon, and this is a very good color corrector. I've used the LA Colors orange corrector, and that one's alright, but I think it's too orange, and this one I feel blends out or corrects the area better than that orange one. So what I'm using is this little spongy pad. They came with a Benefit Hoola liquid bronzer, or liquid tan, I can't even remember. But anyways, so it's moist, I wet it, and then I just blend this out. Is this CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous in the color Soft Honey 220, and it's a bit expired. I know your foundation, well, no, what is it, a year, 6 months that you're supposed to use your foundation. This one, I like to date my foundations. I mean, it's right there, just so I can keep track, but sometimes I don't listen. I ignore even the dates that I put on there. So let's do a little bit of this on the back of my hand, and then I go and smear. The good thing is with this one, this CoverGirl foundation, it does not dry super fast. It gives me time to work with it. And since all my beauty sponges are dirty, I'm going to use my Sigma Angle Kabuki brush and spread that out. And it doesn't. Okay, I don't know where this camera shut off, so all I've done is put on foundation, and I'm now just going with the sponge that I told you that came with that liquid bronzer, and just go over and over the foundation. Now, it's not a full coverage. I can still see my freckles here, and that's fine. It's the summer. I don't want something too heavy, but I just want the foundation to not look cakey or anything like that, which it doesn't. As I mentioned, it has like a natural finish. It's not matte. There's a slight glow here going on, which I like. Alright, put the foundation and put the concealer, and there's some slight lightness around underneath my eyes and on my forehead. I don't want to be too white, too stark. So the actual concealer that I used, I didn't mention it earlier, was the Fit Me by Maybelline in the color Sand. That's number 20 right here. And I've really loved this product right here. It's almost done. You see it's close to the end right here. Anyways, so moving on, what I'm going to do now is set the concealer and the foundation as well. The concealer, I'm setting it because like I said, I'm well into my 30s. I have tiny wrinkles down here, and I don't want my concealer to crease or to settle. So I'm going to do a fine face like this to stretch out the skin under my eye, and then I just pat it. Now, pat it. And again, you don't drag it, you just want to pat, so the products that you've already set down stay in their place. Now, how much you want to put as far as powder, that's really up to you. I tend to put a moderate amount, I'm not gonna lie. Some people put less, and that's fine as well, but I have little tiny wrinkles right here, so I'm gonna work those suckers into submission now. And then right here next to my nose, again, my nose gets super oily, so I'm gonna baking, that's a term used for when you put powder, where you put liquid products or cream products, and you set that powder so that those concealer foundation things that you put on your face don't move around, and you leave it there for a few minutes so that things can set. Will be my eyebrows. And again, I forgot to tell you what I used. What I used was a Coty Original Airspun in translucent extra coverage. This is like $8 at Walmart, Target, Walgreens. It's maybe $13. So if you can get yourself a one from Walmart, do that. Okay. What I'm gonna use for my eyebrows. And it's not an excuse, as I said, I'm more of an enthusiast than a professional. My eyebrows are never the same, and neither is my eyeliner, ever. So be gentle with me if you leave comments about how they're not perfect. They're not. I'm admitting that right now. Okay, so I'm gonna brush through this to remove some of the powder that might have settled there when I was powdering my face. I'm using the spoolie. What this is actually e.l.f.'s eyebrow pencil in the color natural brown. Now, at first, it is a bit tricky to use this because when it comes down to eyebrows, you want a precise line. Well, depending, I guess, on what look you want to go for. I tend to go for a natural look. As you can see, I have bushy eyebrows. I did trim them just because it's easier to work with and to put eyeshadow, eyebrow product. I trim them just a little bit, just so there's not a lot of overhang, or they're not too spongy. I don't know, spongy, I guess, or floofy. Anyways, alright, so I brushed out my eyebrows. Here we go. Now, I was talking about it being a difficult... Oh, no! So, I was trying to clean the bottom, I was trying to clean this off. And what did I do? I pulled off the pencil. I guess down to the bottom of the product, to the very end. Anyways, let's just tuck that little sucker in there. Alright, so I was saying that it's a bit difficult to use because, as you can see, it's pretty thick. So what do? I have to maneuver a fine point. I don't know if you can see. Okay, so there you go. If I turn it around, you can see there's a point there. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, it's semi-creamy, I guess. It's easy and hard. It's easy to work with because the product itself is kind of creamy, so you can fill in. I actually do the other way around. What I do is fill in the middle, right? Fill it in, and it works itself into a point. And now I can use that point and use it on the bottom. So I'm not using a big bulbous point to draw my lines. Okay, so I do the bottom first. And then I look down. I see that point, work it down to the edge of my eyebrow. And then I flip it again so I can create another line, another point, excuse me. And then fill it in. Alright. Work it. Alright. How does that look? That looks good? Yeah. Okay. Alright, so using that point again, and I'll flick up here on the front of the eyebrow to create those sparse little hairs to make it look like a natural brown, because all this going for a natural look. Alright, so now if you might go over a little bit over the edge, like you see right there. Well, I kind of see. Don't worry. That's why you have that spoolie at the end. Alright, so I'm going to work on the other one. Fill in the middle to create that point again. And then you create the border underneath. Okay. Let's see, there's the shaping. I'll like down again so I can create this outer corner curve. Curvy corner. Alright, and you do the top of your eyebrow. See, this one's thicker. And why is it thicker? Because I'm a bad judge. I have a bad sense of spatial space, I guess. It looks like I'm like lifting my eyebrow. That's alright. When the people see me, they'll think questioning. Anyway, so we fill in the rest. You do as best as you can. I mean, honestly, who's gonna freaking stop you in the middle of the street and say, hey, your eyebrow, they're not matching. Okay, so you flick. One thing when setting, because I'm starting to feel it, is when you're setting with powder, sometimes it gets in your eye and your eyes will start watering like nobody's business, and then they create a mess in your inner tear duct, in your inner eye, and that is my constant struggle as well. I have not figured out what to do. If anybody has any suggestions out there, let me know. The powder gets in my eye and then they start watering and then it creates a gunk, and I try to clean it up, and then it just makes me erase all the foundation, all the concealer that I put in there, and I try to pat in with some powder and then it's all uneven. It's a fiasco. Okay, so I want to brush off this this powder underneath my eyes. What I'm going to use, you see this, my Sammy, we're doing aqua therapy, and sometimes she gets scared, and who does she hold on to? Her mama. Underneath my eyes, what I'm going to use is this Wet n Wild pressed powder in the color tan beige. So I just using my taper kabuki from Sigma. Swirl that around, tap off of some of the excess, and the reason that I want to use this powder is as I'm patting the powder, it's brushing away the white or the coating powder, but putting some color also back in there. Again, I don't like it to be super highlighted when it looks like I have white powder underneath my eyes. So I'm just using the kabuki brush to pat in some of this Wet n Wild powder. So what do I want to do now? I want to work on my contour. What I've been using lately is this little sample that I received from Better Hula. It's a bit ashy. I think it's a bit ashy, so what I use is this BH Cosmetic brush. As you can see, it's a bit thicker and smaller than a regular face brush, but thicker than a regular eyeshadow brush, so I feel like it's perfect. It creates a nice little line right here for my contour. This is BH Cosmetics brush number 128. So let's throw a little bit in there. Tap off some of the excess on the, starting right here at the top of my ear. I just go to the middle of my face, like kind of on the outside of my eye. That's as far as I'll go. So, and then I just create a soft line right there. You see it? And then I just blend up. You don't want to go down, because the lower you go, you want to create the illusion of a what? Like high cheekbones. Yeah, you want that. Now what I'm going to use is going to put on some bronzer. This as well is Elf's Studio Line. It's the white packaging one. So I think this one's like $2 or something like that. Now on the back it just reads Glow, but it is a bronzing product. You see? There's a slight glow. This BH Cosmetics brush. It's a little angled blush brush, I guess. But I use it for my bronzer. So I just swirl it in a little bit, tap off the excess, and then I work on that contour line as well, but a little bit higher, like if you're putting blush on the back, towards the back of your face. So you see the contour line, work a little bit over that, and then just put your bronzer, excuse me. Your brush with your bronzer. Say that 3 times. Okay, wait on. I know I'm working my face or the typical routine differently. I'm doing all my face first and then I move on to eyeshadow. But hey, everybody has their routine. Doesn't matter. It's makeup. There are no rules to makeup. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is put a little bit of blush. Now, blush. I feel blush really can go with any eyeshadow. Yes, you try to coordinate, but if you don't use strong colors, like kind of neutral, then any blush can work with any eyeshadow look, I think. That's my opinion. That's not everybody's opinion, and that's okay. But this is what I'm saying. So this is a light corally color. I like this one. This is from the Balm Frat Boy. I love that. The front of this cover. Anyways, and it has a little mirror on the yardage on from a football field. That's cute, right? Yeah. Anyways, so this is a color, and I'm just gonna pick that up on a Sephora brush. This is actually a brush to set for setting powder, but I'm gonna use it for blush. And this is Sephora's setting powder brush in number 53. I picked this one up at Marshall's. Now it's not super soft, but I'll make it work. So you just pucker up, and then you tap the blush right kind of towards the center or the apple of your cheek, but you just tap and work it out. You pick it up, you tap it off, and then gently, because especially if it's the first time they're using that product, just tap it in once, tap it off, because some products, when you pick it up with your brush, can be super pigmented and you don't know how it's going to look on your actual face. So you just have to work at it slowly, layer by layer. Now if you've used it for a bit like I have, well, okay, well, you really can't tell there, but if you know how your product works, you pick up as much as you know you're going to use, and then you just pat. Okay, gorgeous. I like to layer my highlighters. Yes, I'm already moving on to highlighter. And yes, before the eyeshadow, I like to get cheek topper highlighters. This one is from Elf. This is in the color Smoke. Oh no, this is not Smoke and Whistles. What is this? This is Peachy Keen. It's a marble look. It's a baked elf. I think it is, yes, it's a blush. You see how shiny it is? It can work as a topper. And like I said, I like to layer mine. So I get this little petal. You see how it's flat? And this is from the brand Me. I got this on Ipsy from an Ipsy bag. So I just swirl it around. Top off, and I'm just gonna work right here on the top. Don't want to put it all over where I put the blush. I just want it right where I'm going to put the other lighter highlighter. I just want to bring out a little bit of glow. See that? Alright, do that again. Do it over here on this side. And again, you tap it. Perfection. Let's see. I guess I'll wait for the final highlighter towards the end. What I want to work on now is on the eyeshadow. What do I want to wear today? What do I want to wear today? Let's use, I haven't used this one in a while. This is Morphe's JH Favorites. This was released, I would say 2013, 14. These are JH favorite eyeshadow singles from the Morphe line. Now most of them are the lighter ones that I would use to set my eyeshadow primer are shimmery, so I'm going to pull another color in from my Viseart palette in neutral mattes. Okay, so I just grab this cream color. Typically my favorite setting powder is Wet n Wild's Creme Brulee. It's in the single little square. I usually have backups, but for whatever reason I guess I ran out and I haven't picked up more. So I pick up that cream color or almond color, and then I just go in here and set my whole eyelid from the eyebrow bone down to my eyelid. I do that all over. And why do I do this? Because the last thing I put on my eyelid was the eyeshadow primer, and by this time, like I said, it does set pretty fast, but just in case there's slight tackiness or a little rough spot, I like to put this powder or any powder that is my flesh tone or close to my flesh tone and put it down first before I start actually putting the colors that I want, so that when it comes down to actually blending, they don't stick, they don't gather in certain areas, and they can blend out better together. Now these colors, this eyeshadow palette is awesome. This one blends out beautifully, but I don't want just a matte eye look right now. I want a neutral color with some shimmer in it, and since I haven't used that Morphe palette in a while, why not? Okay, so that looks good. And the brush that I use to set my eyelid is from a set that I got from PH Cosmetics. Actually, I got it from Hot Look. There's a thicker eyeshadow brush. I get these brushes so I can set my whole eyelid, and it doesn't take that long. So now that that's done, I take a fluffy brush. This one in particular is a BH Cosmetic number 101. It's nice and fluffy. You see this? All right. So what I'm going to work on right now is actually my transition color. What is my transition color? Transition color will be a medium to neutral brown or orange, something warm colored, I guess, depending on what the eye look you're going for. So for this look, I'm going to go for this like reddish light brown. Okay, so on the camera it looks gray, but it has a slight warmth to it. Well, at least I thought it did. But I'm going to use it. So if you disagree with the tone or the color of it, that's fine. I'll learn. And then next time I'll call it by the correct tone or hue. So, alright. So I grabbed some of that eyeshadow. Tapped it in. Dust off the excess just in case it has fallout. And then starting at the edge of my eye, on the corner of my eye, I just buff it in right down the crease. Now I have hooded eyes now that I'm well into my 30s, and that's okay. I still work out right there because you can still see the majority of the product. So you buff it in, circle, 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 and keep working it until you want. And that to me looks good. You grab some more of that color. Now you're doing the other eye. Again, start in that corner, and then you work yourself in. Circle, circle, circle. And you look at both eyes, try to make sure that they're even, or as even as they can be. Pick up some more if you need to. That's fine. Again, if it's the first time that you're using that eyeshadow, start slowly. You don't want to pick up something and it's super intense and pigmented and it doesn't blend well. Try it out first a little bit at a time. See how it works. See how it works with other eyeshadows before you really pick up a lot of the product and set it on your face. Alright, so that looks good to me. Maybe right here I need to work a little bit. Okay. Alright, that looks good. Alright, so then the second thing that I do with my eyes is going to grab still a fluffy brush, but not as fluffy as you can tell right now. Two fluffy brushes, but one has longer bristles and this one has shorter bristles. So what does it do? This one, you can disperse the product more loosely and over bigger areas or larger areas, and so it looks more diffused. Now this one is also fluffy but with shorter bristles, so when you're buffing in a second color in your crease, it will be blended but in more like a more targeted area. So now I want to go in with a more medium tone. The first one was light. Now I want to go with the medium color, and let's see, what color do I want to go with? I am going to go with okay, so this one's the one that I used first, so I'm just gonna move over. I'm gonna say to that one. Oh wait, that's purple. Yeah, why not? It's like a mauve color. Okay. Am I gonna go for a purple color? Sure, why not? Okay, so you pick some of that eyeshadow up, tap off the excess again, and then again you'll work on the outside corner, just small circles, and then again on the crease area, and see how that intensified. But you can still see the lighter color out here, so that's okay. Well, that's kind of what you want. You want it to be like a gradient color. You don't want sharp lines or anything like that, so that's why you use fluffy brushes and smaller circles so you can really blend it out. And that's why also you use not just one color for your eyeshadow looks. You want different tones, different shades, different gradients to create a gradient effect. Alright, so that is blended. That looks good. And if you don't think it's properly blended, then you just go in with another brush, a clean brush, and you work it up. You blend it as much as you want, or you add as much as you want, until you get the look that you want. And again, trial and error. Practice makes better. There we go. Oh man, I'm getting hungry. My stomach. Alright. Let me turn on this light. Does that help? No. No. Let's turn that off. Okay. So I'm working all the way to the edge here. Oh man, it's gonna rain. That's why I'm losing all the light. Alright. So as you can see, there's some harsh lines on the outside over here. So I'm just gonna grab a fluffy brush, clean fluffy brush. This one is e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. It's fluffy as well. It's a bit thicker, and then I'm just gonna go over what I just said and put down on my eye, and then just blend both of them together, buff them out as much as I want until I get the desired look that I want. Blend it, blend it. And if you want to comment helpful hints or tips, not hints, tips, do that. I don't mind. I'll share them in the next video if I make another video in 2 years. Alright, that looks good to me. So now for the main attraction. I want an actual orange. Do I want orange? Do I want purple? What do I want? Well, it seems like I always gravitate to orange, so I'm gonna actually go with the pinks. So, let's see. What do I have? Alright. So, sometimes with working with eyeshadows, you want the color to be impactful. So sometimes these eyeshadows just need a little oomph. So I'm using, there's many ways to do this. You can use a cream eyeshadow, such as this, or a cream pencil, such as this. This one is from Jordana in the color almond, continuous almond, or this cream eyeshadow from Maybelline Eye Studio. There's different ways, or even maybe a lipstick, just something creamy that you can put on your eyelid, that can create some tackiness to it. So when you actually put the powder eyeshadow, it really sticks. Now, depending on the quality of your eyeshadow, maybe you won't need any base. Just putting the eyeshadow on top of another eyeshadow just works just fine. But I want that extra help. So I'm grabbing this flat brush from e.l.f. I use a lot of e.l.f., right? It's okay. They have good brushes. We're good enough for me. Tools. Tools are something, again, that it's personal. If you feel like you need additional tools, that's fine. That's completely up to you. It's your money. You do whatever you want with it. But that's not necessary. It's really, again, however you work. If you're super clean, I guess, or not weird, obsessive about cleanliness, that's you. You do whatever you need to, and if you need to have more than one brush, then that's you, you know. But I have a friend that is magic with eyeshadows. She has one elf eyeshadow brush, just one, and she can do magic with it. She can do a whole face of makeup with just that one brush, and she does a awesome job. So as far as tools, that's really up to you, like everything else, whatever makes you feel better. Even if you don't need brushes, if you prefer the little sponge tip things, that applicators that come in the actual eyeshadow palettes, which are kind of ridiculous sometimes, but if that's how you feel, you can put makeup on better, then that's you. All right. Okay, so what color did I pick up? Which one was it? Oh yes. So if you're looking at the eyeshadow palette, it would be 1, 2, 3, this one right here, which is pinky purple. So I set down that cream eyeshadow from the Maybelline Eye Studio palette, cream palette, and now I'm setting that cream shadow with this purple color, and I'm just really working it on the inside 3/4 of the eye, and that's it. Grab some more for the other eye again, and you're not sweeping, you're just tapping. Right, grab some of that color and wipe off a little bit of the excess on the edge, and lifting my eyelashes a little bit. I just really tap it on my old tight line. And why do I do this? Well, this little extra step is really my preference, because I like the illusion of thick black lashes. And so if I put this black color on my waterline, it does that. It helps with that look that I like to go for. No, you just have to, there's different ways of doing this. I'm using this cream color, this clay pot. Typically though, I've always used a pencil, but I don't like when it transfers to my waterline. My tight line liner goes onto my waterline, because on my waterline I like to put a highlighting liner, and when it transfers, it just makes it look muddy. I still haven't found the perfect tight line eyeliner. So right now what I'm using is this cream color, and see how that works. I tried Marc Jacobs. When I swatched that one on my hand, I thought, oh, but it, hold on. So when I tried that Marc Jacobs eyeliner, I thought, darn, this is a good liner. It would not rub off. It would not come off with the makeup remover that they usually have at Sephora, because that's where I was swatching it. Anyways, well, So I swatched it, I took it home and everything, and I did my tight line, and lo and behold, that Marc Jacobs eyeliner, hydro liner, ended up on my waterline. And then I was too lazy to return it, so I just kept it. I kept working with it. I mean, it was better than most that I had tried, even though it still would end up on my waterline. And so I've tried Stila. I've tried which one else? I kind of want to try Lancome next. I don't like Urban Decay. I'm allergic to the Urban Decay liners for whatever reason, even though they're supposed to be hypoallergenic. I think I swatched also NARS in the store, and NARS didn't work either. The pencil, the waterproof pencil. I've tried Makeup Forever. And nada. They don't stay. So that's why I'm trying this clay pot. See if that works. Well, so far so good. It hasn't transferred down here. So that's good. Alright, so I've done that. I know it took a while, but it was only because I was talking. Usually it doesn't take that long. Okie dokes. So what I want to do now is grab a liquid liner. This one in particular is Wet n Wild Mega Liner in the color black. It is a felt tip brush, or a felt tip. It's not a brush, it's a felt tip. I don't mind it. I can work with it. I know a lot of people don't care for felt tips, but I don't mind it. Okay, so I angle my applicator towards the edge of my eyebrow, swoop down, and then using the tip, I just go across. Now that's my method. It's not the best method because when it comes to replicating on the other side, it is never the same. Either this wing liner is going to be bulbous, because I'm going to try to add some more. Okay, so far so good. The right one always ends up being better than the left side. Trying to fill in these little gaps between my lashes. Okay, that looks good. Doing the other side. Again, angling to the edge of my my eyebrow. Down. Maria. Okay. Yep. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, I feel. Like I kind of know. So, is it bad that I've gotten used to it? Let me know. I mean, I always try. Well, I guess there you go. I try to aim for them to be even, but I don't get. Doesn't come through. Okay. way to try to clean up the edges down here. Alright, that's pretty good. I always feel I'm going to be that meme where I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Okay, there you go. That's as good as going to be. I'm gonna add a little bit more at the edge of my liner, and it just ends up being the whole black eyelid. Okay, so I smeared a little bit of liner down here because I blinked, and now I just made it even worse. Any tips how to remove it without smearing it more? Use a different eyeliner? Yeah, probably. But I like this one, so I'm gonna keep it. Any other suggestions? Makeup remover? Probably, but I didn't have it in hand. So that's that. Okay, so I removed some of that eyeshadow I had set down, so I'm just gonna go back in there and put some more. I can't open it. Big sausage fingers that I have. Okay, maybe it wasn't as hard as I thought. Anyways, so grab some more of the cranberry color with your brush and set it again. When a mistake happens with mascara, say it was an eyeliner, it was mascara, and you got some on the bridge of your nose, don't panic. Don't remove your whole face of makeup. All you gotta do, let it dry, and once it's dry, you grab hopefully a clean spoolie, but if you don't, just whatever spoolie you may have, and then you just rub it off, and the mascara will flake off, not your makeup. Okay, so moving on with mascara. Let's see. Using my Shurumura eyelash curler, I line it up. I pulse it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully I didn't pinch myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm loving this L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. It is a good dupe for that Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I gotta admit, it does a phenomenal job. You just have to apply 1 coat, a good thorough coat. Move on to your other eye. Do the same. And while you're working on the other eye, the first coat is it's drying up. It's drying. And then you can go back to put on your second layer, and voila. And you can put as many coats as you want. I like to really pile it on there. So now you can do it better on this side. You put it at the base, you twirl it, you spin it, And you got your voluminous eyelashes. There you go. Now you put some on the bottom of your eyelashes. And this is where you have to be careful, because that's how you get mascara on the bridge of your nose. Alrighty. That looks good. Okay. Moving on. Let's do, I'm close to the end, so now I want to put my highlighter. So I'm going to stick with the e.l.f. and I'm going to use this Pinktastic e.l.f. blush. It's also it's called a blush, but it's a highlighter. Look at that, super highlighty. So using this Flawless Concealer e.l.f. blush brush, and then swirl it in there, tap off the excess, and I'm just going to work on this corner. You're not going to go down or anything like that, just doing. I always think about, you know, when people are showing off their pearly whites in commercials and then they do a gleam on one of the teeth. That's pretty much what you're doing. You're doing a little gleam on the top of your highlighter. Remember, you set down that first highlighter, and now you're just putting that extra, you know, gling. So that's why you just do it on this corner, on the corner, the top, the very toppity top, right there, a little bit right here. Now, if this is not your jam, that's cool, but I like it. I like to bring in some of that highlighter on the top of the bridge of my nose, the top of my nose, and right here on the cupid's bow. Right there, and that's it. Moving on. Lastly, lips. You pucker up your lips like this, and this I'm going to use oh, I forgot to highlight my eye. Okay, so I'm using my, ew, what color was this? Boy, oh boy. What? Oh, okay. This is my waterline highlighting pencil. This is Smashbox in Bubbly. It's a pink champagne color. And typically I do it before putting mascara, but I forgot, obviously. And you can put some in the corner of your eye, that's fine as well. Now this bubbly color, you can't find it online. I had to go and pick it up inside the JCPenney Sephora. So maybe you can find it on the Sephora JCPenney online store, but you couldn't find it on the regular Sephora webpage. So in case you're interested, I found it inside the JCPenney Sephora store. Okay, there go the waterworks. that, so it's a little pop. Now you can't really tell on the camera right now, but the minute the light catches me outside, you'll see it. Well, yeah, you can't see it there. Anyways, that's a beautiful little detail. Okay, moving on. So I am going to use for lips this Grwm plump liner lip liner. They're pretty thick. On one end you have the brush to spread the product, and then on the other side you have a thick lip liner, but it can pass off as a lipstick as well, just because it is it can cover a lot of surface area. This is in the color Undercover, which is a like cinnamon color, cinnamon brown color. It is matte, but it doesn't feel matte. Okay, so I know I filled out most of it with the lip liner, but now I'm gonna go in with Grwm's Sinful Cinnamon. This is the packaging, has a little magnetic closure. It has Grwm embossed there. Anyway, so it's in Sinful Cinnamon, and then I just fill in the rest. This one is also matte, but it does not feel matte. Nice and creamy. And that's it. I am done ski. Just gotta set my face. My hair has air dried, and that's all I'm going to do with my hair. But as far as setting my face, I'm using Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe, cucumber, and green tea, and that smells so fresh. It actually it's so refreshing and smells so good. Now this, what I like about this, it's, I don't know if it has some like oil in here. I haven't actually read it or not, but it takes away a lot of the powdery look, and it gives me a nice little glow there. Now, quick trick or tip, if now that your face is moist from the setting spray, you go in again. Where did I leave it? Oh, right there. You go in with that highlighter that is supposed to gleam, and you go in there again to just intensify it a little bit more. And you go in again with that brush, and then again to make a gleam. Right there too. All right, I'm done. So what do you guys think? How do I look? Let me know. Love you. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you guys learned something, and if you can teach me something as well, do that. I highly encourage it. We're always learning, and I'm always learning. And as you can tell, uneven eyeshadow. No, eyeshadow's good. Eyebrows for sure. And you can see this one goes up and this one's more of a straighter, but I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm fine with it. Overall, I love the look. The pink is real pretty. It makes my brown eyes pop. And that's it. With my little gleam right there. Anyways, love you guys. Next time. See you next time. All right. Bye.